And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. That's me, your griot, here to tell you a story or to listen to yours. These days, I'm more interested in hearing your story. We're on the live chat. So, what's it like living on the razor's edge? Have you lost any of your? Elon thinks that if you're not a billionaire, you're just a useless eater. And pretty much, I grew up with 1 foot in the hood, another foot in the community of those who felt they were entitled because of their class. Right? What was their class? Basically, white males. That was their class. And on every level of everything I did, I kind of kept bumping into those folks. Well, it's snowing up there. That's why it's so white. No, there's a guy named Jordan Maxwell. You should go on YouTube and look him up. He's an interesting guy.
About for so long that I think he knows the public really doesn't want to see this. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean here. It started with a simple yes or no question. Question: have you spoken to Vladimir Putin since your election? Yes or no? Answer: I can't tell you. I can't tell you. It's just inappropriate. Trump interview after the election with Time Magazine. It's inappropriate. It's not appropriate to be for us to ask you if you've spoken to Putin, or it's not appropriate for you to say. That was December, about a month after the election. By that point, it was widely reported that Trump had taken calls from world leaders across the whole planet, like France and Israel and India, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the UK, Ukraine, South Korea. Trump himself made a big deal of announcing that announcing before he was sworn in that he had spoken to President Xi Jinping of China. He said, quote, "The call was a very good one." So he's bragging about and letting it be known about and sort of effusing about all of his calls with all of these foreign leaders all over the world, including very controversial ones like the president of communist China. But when you ask him if he talked to Putin, he says that's inappropriate. He doesn't want to talk about it. I said that was December. Maybe that was just something weird about being in the transition. Maybe once he took office, once he was officially president, he would find it more appropriate to issue.
Trump promised us that he'd give Elon full access to the federal government, pull it to the side and get all up in it. And unlike his wedding vows, this is a promise he kept.
Elon Musk's sweeping push to make over the federal government, sparking Democratic panic and warnings of a constitutional crisis.
Now we have learned that his team has gained access to something extraordinarily sensitive, the system that the Treasury Department uses to disperse almost every check and expenditure of any kind made by the U.S. government.
That is a vast database with millions of Americans' personal information on it.
Yeah, Elon Musk has access to your social security number, and that is not cool. If you want our personal data, Elon, you go buy it off the dark web like everyone else, okay? Trump promised us that he'd give Elon full access to the federal government, pull it to the side and get all up in it. And unlike his wedding vows, this is a promise he kept.
Elon Musk, sweet.
So, not like politicians haven't been like this already. This is like nothing new. We don't live in a democracy. We don't even live in a republic. We live in a corporate autocracy. Elon Musk and Donald Trump have just started to lift the curtain to show us what's been going on for the last 200 years. I mean, if you really go back and look at everything from Babylon, right? So today, pretty much same thing, same people, same ideological thing. We at the top, we rule. Everybody at the bottom is scum and expendable. And we're just going to use them for cannon fodder in our wars. Well, to build the modern neo-colonial world, you need a consumer. So that's why we're here. But now you don't need us. We've got consumers in Africa and China and South America, other Asian countries. And I would say, like, this channel I started about 7 years ago. I have about 2,200 shows. The basic theme of the show is we are living in the times of the big splat. Right? And every child's fairy tale, scary movie, and dystopian novel is being shown for what it is, our daily lives. So what are you going to do? How are you feeling? What's going on? Are you bleeding out yet? What do you think? Most people try to, whatever really crazy stuff happens, crouton. They want to normalize it. Well, virtually all of the corporate news does that, from CNN to Fox, from PBS to MSNBC. And they basically do the same thing and normalize it, right? So you'll ignore that Rock Lobster is chewing on her hand, and it's already gone past the hand and going up to the wrist and heading for the elbow, right? God knows where that'll lead. Are you bleeding out? Yeah. I've been, eating this little guy. That's,
Who are you? I'm the man you tell the truth. Let's start with your name. First is fine.
My name is Arthur. I clean up mostly, mop the floors, take out the trash.
Okay, Arthur. Two very good friends of mine were told to come in by a man named Bino. You know the man I mean?
Everybody knows Mr. Bino.
Yes. Bino told them to come in so they could enter the pipeline. You still with me, Arthur? You know what I'm talking about?
The pipeline?
So you don't? Well, that's either true or you're playing games. I love games. In fact, I'm playing one now with dominoes. First, I line them up, then I knock the first one over, and it leads to another, and then another.
Check out our newly arrived tool set. There are 400. What's he doing?
Brother, whatever I have done to wrong you, I am truly sorry. But these people are innocent. Taking their lives will gain you nothing. So take mine. It's over.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
So is this how you normally live?
More or less.
It's a good look. What's he doing?
Brother, whatever I have done to wrong you, I am truly sorry. But these people are innocent. Taking their lives will gain you nothing. So take mine. It's over.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
So is this how you normally live?
More or less.
It's a good look. What's he doing?
It's a good look. And you know, that's why the Marvel movies are so popular. Because
Smart enough to know I'll shoot you dead before you ever get that old Betsy out from behind the bar. Let's see it, shall we? Nice and slow. I'll just need you two gentlemen to bring that coffin out for me. The box.
No.
Excuse me. What do you want a corpse for? You can keep it.
Thank you for the coffin outside.
Fuck your mother.
Kill him.
Well, gentlemen, the face be quiet. Thank you. Niki Lauda.
Thank you. I called this meeting because, as all you drivers know, the Nürburgring is the most stupid, barbaric, outdated, and dangerous track.
American 65 Plus. You are one step closer.
Is this the firehouse that responded to the jet engine crash?
That's right.
They're missing the upper starboard side engine mounting strut. I'm going to need it back. One of my guys saw the officer of Squad 3 leaving the crash site with that strut in hand.
I'm the officer of Squad 3. I didn't take any souvenirs.
I think I'm messing around. Interfering with an FAA investigation, federal offense.
I didn't interfere with anything. I don't have your strut.
I can get my partner over here, search this place up and down, empty every last compartment of your rigs.
I'm without a warrant, you are. My lieutenant says he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it.
You just brought down the full weight of the United States government on your firehouse.
I just need a minute with your class, please. These are two of the brave firefighters that helped us out the other day. The investigators need every piece of that in order.
Does this look Jedi to you? I guess you sit right here. Okay, here we go. This is the seeing stone. Are you seeing anything? Or are they supposed to see you? Maybe there's some kind of control or something. Oh, come on, kid. Ahsoka told me all I had to do was get you here and you do the rest. Time's up, kid. We gotta get out of here. We
don't have time for this. We gotta get. Hey, snap out of it, kid. I'll see if I can buy you some time. Can you please hurry up?
Does this look Jedi to you?
Member of my crew is dead.
Inquiry was not recognized.
My helmsman was killed in Launch Bay 1.
All personnel are required to vacate areas that are undergoing reconstruction.
I need to talk to a person. Someone who can access your database and tell me what happened.
Your inquiry was not recognized.
Who built this station? What species?
Your inquiry was not recognized.
What species?
Any damage to these facilities will be charged to your vessel.
Member of my crew is dead.
In a controversial new bill that just passed, all 50 states approved 913.
This usually works. Low performance issues, it's not uncommon. 1 out of 5.
And there's one other person you pissed off.
I got it.
Enough! I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Bad.
This usually works. Low performance issues, it's not uncommon.
Yes, performance issues are not uncommon. And, we're seeing that being manifested by our government. Now, if you think all this is Donald Trump's fault, no, he has just been placed there to be the scapegoat. And what are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? It would be nice to hear from someone about what you think could be done about it. What has been done in the past? You know, we had Thor there as a god, and Loki, I'm a god. You know, and then Hulk just bad god. So, you know, it's kind of a Marvel milieu, you know, to basically procreate the myth of the gods, right? That really not a myth, you know. They weren't quite gods, but you know, when someone can do some really wicked stuff and you don't even know what it is, well, it's a god to you, you know. Anyone who doesn't think there is a prime mover, right? You're awful insulated in your ego, which is a very dangerous thing to do. That's why the people who basically seemingly run the show have insulated themselves in their ego. They don't understand that the true essence of love's co-creation is realizing that it's not about you. It's about the we and me of all our relations. You look at any of the conflicts that are going on around now. They're all being motivated by ego's greed, which is fueled by ego's fear. That fear motivates the ego to say it's a zero-sum game. I want it all. Because without it, I'm at threat. I'm in danger. Well, you realize that if you're coming from a place where you are serving love's co-creation, right, in a covenant of unconditional love, it stems from you being a doula of God's love and Jesus' unconditional forgiveness. Now, giving these two entities a name like God, it doesn't really work too good. It's new. Thank you for using the voice. Upgrade the Pro Edition, Blue S, enable Bluetooth recordings, and more.
Since a lot of this stuff was sort of put together prior to and taking an oath of program. Phone went out on program. When you say when they get serious, who are they saying they? Well, he said neither side are serious, but that was covering their ass. They didn't want to come out and say Israel is to blame, so they said both sides are to blame. But they meant Israel. Right, they meant Israel. Because Israel is blowing the shit out of the Gaza Strip. The phone went out all of a sudden. Oh, okay.
Again, what if this is all just an illusion? What if the reality we perceive is nothing like the true nature of existence? Is it possible that there are infinite possibilities for conscious experiences that we cannot even imagine, and that our current experience is just a tiny slice of what is possible? Is there an ultimate reality that exists beyond our perception of space and time? And if so, what is it like? In this video, we will dive into the mysteries of our consciousness into new realms of understanding. By seeing beyond the illusions of space and time, we can begin to glimpse the true nature of reality.
And
Let me. People aren't doing much so far.
Well, they are in certain places, you know.
Buddy? I'm doing okay. I'm getting a little colder.
Democratic result, a decisive win, a majority of the popular vote, all 7 swing states. Wasn't this a clear decision by the people?
Yes, in some respects, it shows the working of democracy. Biden had a 40% approval rating. Incumbent parties almost never win with that kind of presidential approval rating, whether it's the incumbent.
22 saved voice messages.
Some things perhaps you wanted that are missing. But this is the channel to describe where you are. This almost the end of your year 2024. In order to truly explain all of the things that I want to give you today to highlight perhaps some of the things that are coming. I must start at the beginning. These are things that not all of you would know. What I'm about to tell you is a grand story. But the grand story known by many who would perhaps listen to me and through the ages have been participants in seminars and perhaps the books. This might be new to you.
Hey, if you're thinking about selling your home soon, you don't want to miss this. Not only will I buy your house fast, but I can also pay your next month's rent, mortgage, or cover your moving costs. Our team will buy your home as it's based around calendars of energy, if you wish. And the calendars of energy were very well known by some indigenous, not so much others, who simply drew diagrams on the rocks telling what might happen during this time, this end time, an end time, because it would be the end of the old energy. This should be a time of celebration for all of you. If any of you are watching this because you want to hear the foretelling doom, you should turn it off now, because I will not satisfy that. What I will satisfy is the information that I started 35 years ago and that I continue to this day about the magnificence of the human being. You might say that it all started in 1987 with something called the harmonic convergence, a special alignment of the planets, which was also based in indigenous calendars, specifically the Maya. And way before this, which is called the precession of the equinox, began, celebrations were taking place. And there were meetings in various parts of the earth about bringing peace on the planet finally, a precursor to what was coming next. The ones who told the story were the clearest were the astronomers, the Maya. But so many indigenous knew of this time and said it was coming and that it would be a decision point for humanity. The Maya said more than that. The Maya dealt in pachacutis, in patterns of time and years, and they would all add up to a middle point of decision. And that middle point was 2012, which just happens to be the middle point of that which we call precession of the equinox. So to simplify things, this is a time that is astronomically correct. It has nothing to do with religion or belief systems or the New Age or an old age. It simply is. It represents a 26,000-year wobble of the Earth, which culminates in that which is called the precession of the equinox, and it started in 1994. And if you want to know what that time period is, I will also tell you that now, because you get to know when it's over, this opportune window. Astronomically, the timing is a 36-year window, starting in 1994 and going till 2030. You're very close to the end. I'll tell you what that means in a moment. So here you are in that which has been predicted by the ancients as a time of decision. So many of your belief systems had the end of the world here because the decision was that you couldn't possibly make it. That World War III would occur. The Armageddon would take place in its own form. And let me tell you the frightening part. The frightening part is that all of these things would begin, and the spark would be a war in Israel. Calendar
historians were expecting it because that's what they were told. The narrative of the planet, religiously, that's what they were told. But none of you got it right. Not really. That spark, that war in Israel that might occur in the years of the 2000s, which has, is the beginning of light. In a black and white color, it's a world is the beginning of color. So we've told you that. Now you might say, how could anything this negative and this awful be the beginning of light? What if I referred to it as the last battle, where centuries of hate took place, where the rest of the world seemed to go through world wars and even the atrocities that occurred, the wars would be over, and then half a century later, they'd be trading partners, but not in the Middle East. You see, it's very, very different there. What happens in the Middle East would happen with Earth. I said that many, many times. I'll get to that, dear ones. This precession of the equinox we are now calling the shift. It's a time of greater opportunity for awakening of humanity.
And so he has positioned him in his speech, and that is quite significant because the king is kind of deployed to make these subtle, we're hearing you type messages when it's needed, kind of sparingly, which is kind of how the diplomatic double act in the British system works.
Dan, the idea of the word reparation formally appearing as a
made by none other than David Icke, who feels that CERN experiments are endangering not just science, but all humankind. Prepare yourself, for what you are about to hear may permanently alter your perspective on the world. The goal of CERN is to discover the mysteries of the cosmos. The research done here is nothing short of groundbreaking, ranging from the discovery of the Higgs boson to investigations into the fundamental structure of space and time. However, enormous power also entails immense responsibility, or in this instance, significant risk. Since its founding in the middle of the 1950s, the European Council for Nuclear Research, more popularly known as CERN, has gained recognition for its audacious experiments. Its revolutionary work has garnered much attention throughout the years, both favorable and bad. Some of its tests, meanwhile, have sparked concerns about possible hazards, including the creation of black holes or the disruption of reality. Upon its completion and operation on September 10, 2008, the Large Hadron Collider, LHC, became one of CERN's most renowned and controversial undertakings.
No, as Chiron said, we're in the middle of the equinox, great movement, right? And that's us growing up. I mean, I did cut myself the other day. They package everything in so much plastic and stuff, and these things that have this super hard plastic, like a screwdriver or something, and it's totally surrounded, and you can't get at it. And you try to, it doesn't come apart, and you got to cut it with a razor knife, and when you cut the plastic, it becomes as sharp as a razor knife, and that's what happened to me. So I'm not bleeding out, and neither are any of us, because you don't die. Your soul is immortal because it has that spark of life. And, again, I say go listen to Jordan Maxwell, because he explains things much better than I. But basically, we live in the day, right? 24 hours, right? And that day on this planet is separated 12 hours of night and 12 hours of day. And at night, is when back in the day humans were somewhat susceptible to being eaten by the predator class, right? So that's why our nervous system is so wired to be aware of that threat that's just around the corner, just behind your back, just above you. That leopard that's going to eat your face. And so you do one of two things. You either go and hide at night, build a big fire to keep the boogeyman away, or you develop a religion and celebrate the darkness. And so, why do Jews have Seder, their ceremony, on Friday nights into Saturday morning, right? Because their religion is based on the moon. And the zodiac, right? There's the 12 apostles. 12 is a pretty sacred number, right? So we basically are run by the stars above us, right? And we can only see them at night. And that's, we're looking up at all those little twinkling things, and those are suns, right? During the day, the sun comes out, and that's when we are warm and we can see all around us, and we can be semi-safe and go about our business. And that is, the eye of Horus, right? And that is who Jesus Christ is. That's who Vishnu. And the Egyptian theology, they had a tri-god, And Horus, the sun rises and sets, right, on the horizon, right? Horus goes up and down, right? And there's 12 hours in the day, right? And Horus, the sun god, takes 12 steps, right, across the day. And most organizational structures like Alcoholics Anonymous or Drugs Anonymous, they have a 12-step program, right? So, Moses, right, who is the character actor of bringing us the laws, right? Going up to the mountain, the burning bush, gives the 15 laws, right? And there's 3 tablets, and Moses coming down the hill, and he trips and he drops one of the tablets, and before he read it, so he didn't really have it. He read the first 2, but that's why he tripped. He was going down, and he tripped. And he smashed those 5 laws on that tablet, and that made Moses not the lawgiver, but the first human to break the law. He dropped it, right? Crash, right? Then he comes down and he sees the Hebrew nation gathered together. Basically, because their religion is based on the moon, and the astrological point of that is the bull, the golden, and the moon reflects light. So it's the golden bull. You got the sun, which is a really golden thing, and then the night, it's the moon. So these are all things that are surrounding us. All, we swim in a world. Let's see. Something about theocracy. The sun rising and setting, the light is the hidden face of the almond. Yep. Get it? Yeah. So all of this knowledge, which is esoteric in nature and occult in a form. So esoteric just means it's not like devil worship. Esoteric means hidden knowledge. And occult is like sacred or special knowledge. Right? And hidden knowledge can be dug up by anyone who has got a shovel and a nose for that. And usually that person is a scholar, right? And that person usually is, Indiana Jones, right? And he was a scholar, right? And he was a scholar of archaeology. He dug things up and he looked for physical evidence, And in that movie, the first one, the Ark of the Covenant, the men in suits didn't even know what it was, but they knew that those old guys in that college kind of maybe, right? So here, we hear the Nazis talking about it. So what is it and can you find it, right? So basically, before those guys come into the scene, you see Indy in the classroom, and he's a little late, and they're all kind of talking before he shows up, and he gets his stuff ready, and then this other guy comes in late, right? And Indy goes to him, "So what are you looking for?" And he goes, "I'm looking for archaeology, religion, And he goes, "Religion? Oh, religion." It's down the door down there. Religion is, when you want to just firm up your belief, you got a religion, right? You want to have a magic God who you pray to, and he fixes things, maybe, right? Or gives you your wish, maybe. And, you give the priests the offerings, and they take it into the next room, where they basically cook it up and eat it themselves, and all the money that's given, they go down to the titty bar. Anyway, so that's been what it's like here in our human existence, right? That few people at the top, those guys who are above the 33 degrees Masons, most of the presidents, how did Harry Truman, a total wingnut, become president? He had nothing. I mean, he was a haberdasher. He sold hats, right? But he kind of had this ability to be in the right place at the right time. And he kept stumbling into situations where they said, "Oh, Harry, you want to be a judge?" "I don't know." "Well, it pays you this. You don't have to do anything." "Yeah, I'll be a judge." That was Harry. "Hey, you want to be governor?" Well, you don't have to do anything. Go parties, drink, eat, have a good old time. And you just need to look good in the newspaper. And because he was a haberdasher, he always had a nice hat and a nice suit. So he always looked pretty good. So, and then he joined the right club, the Masons. And, he went up the roll, and there he is, right? President. That's how he got to be president. And pretty much every person who's been president of the United States in some way did the same thing. They weren't really any great anything. They were just in the right place at the right time and had a pedigree, right? And so that's why that gentleman, was Tryon was talking about the black hats and the white hats, basically.
E.J. Allison with Vicki Merrick at Atlantic Public Media. The brilliant work of Edward Said over a period of many decades How did people in the United States learn of what he had to say? Well, to a significant degree, it was if they listened to alternative radio. I mean, this is a radio program that has been able, willing to convey the war made invisible before the Israeli attack on Gaza in response to the events of October 7th. And then you crucially have added an afterword. Talk about the ingredients of that and how things have evolved. I thought a lot when I was working on the afterword about the Gaza war. I tried to grasp how the events after October 7th, 2023 have related to the basic themes of the initial book. After all, the title War Made Invisible might at first seem counterintuitive because the Gaza war got tremendous and has gotten to some degree still a significant amount of U.S. media coverage. But it became really clear that the quantity of coverage didn't mean that the war itself has been visible. After all, the realities of war are death, maiming, terror, and very little of that has come through the news media coverage of the Gaza war, I think for two basic reasons. One is the inherent limitations of journalism to convey what it's really like to have missiles and bombs coming at you, and the carnage and the death and the suffering, the loss, the mourning, the grief. Very difficult.
Bottom line is you don't want to be in that, right? I've been around it as a photojournalist. You don't want to be in that. It's just me. This is better than that. It's called culture. It's called art. The only thing that's going to save our butt is art. And art for art's sake.
A 1,000 years, we have to kind of get reset, right? We have to, there was Coke, and then there was the new Coke, right? Remember that? And it didn't work out too good. So, So that's where we're at right now. We're going into the new whatever, the new normal, the new, like I like to call it, the new neo-insane clown party. Did you ever hear that band, the ICP?
No.
Insane Clown Party. It was in from the 90s to the early O's, and they came from Yugoslavia.
No, man. What was the name? They could not be coming.
Yes. Go. Yes. Go Insane Clown Party. Go Google that. And they became, they were there. They were kind of punk / gypsy / blues.
It's possible because I left much earlier. I didn't follow Yugoslavia music for a long, long time.
And these guys are great because it's, punk / gypsy / blues. It's almost like klezmer, the Jewish klezmer music. Yeah. That's kind of jazzy, but
Albert,
what kind of latte?
And then don't hang up on me. Just listen. Because immediately, most people go, oh, that's a bunch of bull. I don't want to hear this. But then you're going to miss something. The bottom line on Christianity, the teachings of Christ, or the teaching of and the whole story about Jesus in the New Testament is actually very simple. It was so simple, no one saw it. Because it's right there in front of you. The bottom line story in the New Testament story of Jesus is this: a war between light and darkness. Simple. That's it. Night and day. That's exactly right. Day and night. That's right. The war between light and darkness. There are 12 hours of light in which man is happy because he can rule the world, and he can grow plants, and he can be in charge of the earth, and he can build buildings, and he can do wonderful things because it's warm out, and the weather is nice, and it's very warm,
and he's in charge. He can see everything because his eyes are fixed to see things in the light. So he's learning great things, doing great things, having them all being human in the light. But when it gets dark, so that Big Pharma hates when you do this, but they can't do a damn thing about it. These shoes help relieve back pain and knee pain. In Jewish literature, after Daniel into the Second Temple period, speculation on these things just go off the charts. Yeah. There is such fascination with angels and these figures. Yeah. And there's whole books dedicated to them. The famous Enoch about totally. Yeah, there's a collection of actually originally independent works called the Book of Enoch.
I like that one too.
The Book of Enoch, a missing link in the chain of sin that weighed down man. A story that foretells the actions of the sons of God who were tasked with watching humanity. Angels defy the Most High, mixing heavenly seed with earthly vessels. Impure blood pumped within beating hearts. Flesh mixed with flesh. Sin birthed sin. When the Lord looked down, he saw not his works. Instead, he saw the seed of the serpent. Peter and Jude are drawing directly, actually, on ancient Jewish books like First Enoch, Jubilees, and the Book of Giants, all from the Second Temple period, and they're all part of the Dead Sea Scrolls. So Peter and Jude are reading Jewish books, essentially commentary on the Old Testament, on this episode of Genesis 6:1-4, and they bring some of that material into their own writings, the New Testament.
What both Second Peter and Jude are doing, they are informed by Second Temple Jewish conversation happening about these things. Specifically, we know where one of the sources of these ideas is a text that Jude quotes from, called scholars call First Enoch. And so what First Enoch and other Jewish literature of the period tells us the way that they understood the flood narrative, that the flood where God thoroughly punished, destroyed the Nephilim and changed their souls or spirits in the underworld.
Brian Tracy exemplifies this by saying, "You are a living magnet. What you attract into your life is in harmony with your dominant thoughts. This means that the universe isn't just a passive space around us. It's actively listening and responding to every thought and word we express. But most of this communication happens without us even realizing it. It's like sending out signals without knowing the frequency we're tuned into. But here's the good news. We can actually tune into universe frequency and talk to the universe. This way our thoughts have the power to turn into things, into actual events and situations in our lives. So how do we switch from unconscious broadcasting to intentional communication? How do we ensure we're asking the universe for what we truly desire and not inadvertently for things we don't want? Well, there are different ways. Keep watching until the end, because we're going to show you 5 effective ways to talk to the universe to ensure we're sending the right signals and creating the life we dream of.
This is the magic.
The first way to effectively communicate with the universe is by harnessing the power of energy. This is where things get really fascinating. The concept of sending energetic requests to the universe is rooted in 2 fundamental laws, the law of vibration and the law of attraction. Imagine everything around you, including your thoughts and emotions, as being in a constant state of vibration, like the strings of a guitar, each creating its own unique sound. This vibrational state changes based on what we think and feel. It's as if we're tuning forks, resonating with the frequencies of our inner experiences. Now, enter the law of attraction, which is like the dance partner to the law of vibration. It's based on the principle that like attracts like. This means energies with similar vibrations are drawn to each other. So the energy you emit through your thoughts and emotions will attract experiences that match it. It's as if you're casting a net into the universe. And the vibrational quality of your thoughts determines what you catch. Think of your vibrational state as a beacon calling out to the universe. When you're in a state of joy, gratitude, or love, you emit a high frequency vibration. The universe, aligning with this frequency, responds by bringing experiences, people, and situations that resonate with these positive states. It is a powerful conversation with the universe. It's about sending clear, specific, and emotionally charged messages foundations of Christianity over the years, more and more. He keeps people in line by presenting himself as the ultimate authority, demanding blind faith and submission. And for the most part, it's worked. Most of the world's religious systems, especially the traditional teachings of the Old Testament, reinforce this idea that we're supposed to fear God, submit to his will, and never question his authority. The Gnostics didn't see the demiurge as the only power in the universe. Far from it.
Americans 64 and older can now claim dental care for $0. Dentures, implants, crowns, x-rays, and much.
What if I told you that the entire way we've been taught to think about God is wrong? We've been raised to believe in this neat little box of God is good, Satan is evil, and that's it. But what if I told you that there's a God that exists beyond that? Beyond good, beyond evil, beyond anything the church has ever prepared you for? Meet Abraxas. You won't hear about him in your Sunday sermons, but Abraxas is the key to understanding the real mystery of the divine. In ancient Gnostic texts, Abraxas represents a force that transcends the dualities we cling to, light and darkness, creation and destruction, good and evil. And the church? They don't want you to know about this. They've spent centuries pushing a version of God that fits their narrative, a God who rewards, punishes, and fits into a moral framework they control. But Abraxas, he defies all that. Abraxas isn't your traditional God. He's not a God who can be labeled with good or evil, because he is both. He unites opposites. He's the chaos in order, the dark in the light. He's the very thing that shakes the foundations of everything you've been told. And that scares the church to its core. We've been programmed to see life in dualities, heaven or hell, angel or demon, God or Satan. But what if those boundaries are a lie? What if the real divine force doesn't care about those lines? The church has taught us to fear the unknown, to fear chaos, to fear anything that doesn't fit neatly into their story of a benevolent, loving God on one side and a monstrous, evil Satan on the other. But Abraxas shows us that divinity isn't black and white. It's everything and nothing at the same time. Gnostic traditions reveal that the universe isn't a battleground between good and evil, it's a blend of both. Abraxas is the battle, the unity, the creator, and the destroyer. The church has fed us a watered-down version of God, one that's easy to control, one that keeps the faithful obedient, but that's not the full picture. The truth is, there's a deeper, messier, more complicated reality behind the divine. And the church has been working overtime to make sure you never find out. But here's the thing, Abraxas has always been there.
A lot of distractions. That's what we get. Internet, fast food, porno, war, chemtrails, pollution, fashion, a lot of distractions. So when you get old, you get worn out, you're tired, or you get contemplative, right? You get empathetic, you get sweet. You're happy to just be there. So how are you doing? Where are you at? Just happy to be here?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Right. Yes.
I mean, it is happening. So all you can do is be presented with opportunities. It's up to you how you react.
Right. So I feel that Hey, cool man. My name. Right. Yes.
I mean, it is happening. So all you can do is be presented with opportunities. It's up to you how you react.
Right. So I feel very hopeful because from a tree.
Newton's head.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
I mean, it is.
Start recording at the tone. When finished,
gain practical insights to manifest abundance and spiritual awakening in your life. Don't miss this opportunity to tap into the sacred teachings and unlock a path to divine transformation. Discover the most potent law of attraction technique globally by repeating a powerful word each night before bedtime. This word, harnessed for over 2,000 years by the world's most successful individuals, serves as a magical key to abundance across all facets of life, encompassing health, wealth, and love. Make it a mantra, especially before sleep, and witness transformative changes unfold. Entrepreneurs embracing this practice increase their likelihood of attaining millionaire status. Those aiming to enrich romantic relationships find a better chance of thriving and flourishing. Even during challenging moments in a relationship, this word has the potential to revolutionize everything. Likewise, individuals facing health challenges can empower their situations with this transformative word. Let's delve deeper into the significance of this word. If you want to attract money easily starting today, check link in comments below to know the shocking wealth secrets.
For $9.95, you can get a prayer cloth.
And that is my promise to you. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have it all, while others struggle to get by? Why some people are happy, healthy, and successful, while others are unhappy, sick, and broke? Is it just luck, or is there something more behind it? What if I told you that there is a hidden wisdom that can unlock the mysteries of life and help you achieve your highest potential? A wisdom that has been passed down through the ages.
Plummet, it's going to be too late. If you built the building and it's a little off, you should have straightened the cornerstone out to start with. So the cornerstone is on the bottom of the building. Jesus is not the cornerstone. The word in Greek and Hebrew is chief cornerstone. Chief cornerstone is totally different than cornerstone. Because the word chief cornerstone in Hebrew means, look it up in the Hebrew dictionary, chief cornerstone is a Hebrew word which means a triangle perched on top of a pyramid. Because if you take a perfect four-sided pyramid, in your mind, four-sided pyramid, absolute perfect. You take a razor and you cut off the tip. The tip you just cut off is itself a pyramid, four-sided pyramid, right? Absolutely. It's a little tiny, smaller than a large. That's right. It's a little tip, but it is a four-sided pyramid. Now put it back on and it completes the full pyramid. That's what the idea is, that Jesus or the Messiah is the completion of the divine plan of the universe, the completion of God's divine ancient plan that the Egyptians knew about, the Babylonians, the Sumerians, all the ancient peoples of the world understood what God is and what the Messiah and Christianity, what Jesus actually represents. The word in the New Testament for Jesus is the chief cornerstone with a triangle sitting on top of a pyramid. Jesus is referred to as God's Son, the light of the world. Well, of course, the Son is the light of the world. What else lights in the world but isn't the Son?
We're in this reality with our own individual consciousness. We live out our time here on Earth, and then our consciousness returns to the absolute where it came from. According to the Gateway Report, we return to this collective consciousness, but we also retain our individual identity. So, immortality in a way. Colonel McDonald sees the absolute as what many people might consider God.
The concept of visible reality, that is, the created world, as being an emanation of an omnipotent and omniscient divinity who is completely unknowable in his primary state of being. The absolute at rest in infinity is a concept straight out of Hebrew mystical philosophy. Even the Christian concept of the Trinity shines through
based on the CIA study, there seems to be another dimension. There seems to be a spiritual dimension. There seems to be something beyond just our physical material world into another world that we can theoretically access. But what are the consequences of potentially accessing this world? Well, check out what All has said in his video.
There are non-human species, which Monroe saw as aliens, but are basically angels or demons. They're often happy to talk to Monroe and his crew and explain how the spirit world worked. Monroe built friendships with many of these beings, seeing them dozens of times repeatedly. The spirit world is largely chaotic, like a jungle or our real world. It's not orderly or safe like we like to imagine, but a natural ecosystem in which creatures have their own motivations, goals, they eat each other, some are stronger than others, and more. It's not a place of peace and serenity. That being said, there are very clearly some stronger and better types of creatures than others. Some of these things were benevolent and helped Monroe, and others were monsters with attitude.
Of a powerful non-human intelligence. Their agents simply referred to as the entities. Welcome to Ethiopia, a beautiful country, rich in history and mystery, serving as both a cultural and strategic waypoint between Africa and the Middle East. Despite its recent troubled history, this country is believed by many to be the home of one of the most important and sought-after supernatural artifacts known to man, the Ark of the Covenant. Researchers and local tradition hold that this sacred relic has been in the Horn of Africa for 3,000 years and is today housed in the town of Axum. Under the watch of a select group of priests, the Ark's mysterious presence here may come at a price, as these guardians are said to perish young after only a few years of service. Some attribute the illnesses that afflict these men to an unknown power source that can be natural or supernatural, as illustrated in Scripture. Partly because of this power, it is believed that the hunt for the Ark continues, with influential global players over the past 100 years seeking to acquire it for themselves. For example, from Germany's Heinrich Müller's search for occult artifacts in the 1930s and 40s, to the traumatic 2020 scenes of unrest in the Horn of Africa, the Ark has played a surprising role in both instances. In the latter, it has been reported that under the cover of the strife between Ethiopia and Eritrea, the Ark was a key target to be stolen and potentially taken abroad. Although Axum has never officially been confirmed by the church to be the actual home of the Ark, with skeptics saying that what the Ethiopians have is little more than an ordinary box. Any significant global events that appear non-anomalous could be considered as part of a by the lovely Olivia.
Hi, everybody.
And Olivia, Purple Rain. Mm-hmm. Tonight it's going to be actually Purple Ray. I'm going to describe why that is so as we get deep into Mystery School America tonight with a special report on...
Well, kids, that was fun. We're just about to run out of electricity, so I'm going to end the show. I'll be back later. See who else shows up. Thank you, Jamie, for showing up.